The Australian off-road racing fraternity descends on far north Queensland to the Milchester Motorsport Complex, about 90 minutes west of Townsville, for one of the hottest stops on the calendar. Hello and welcome to the Markwell Group Gold City 450 and round 4 of the BF Goodrich Motorsport Australia Off-Road Championship. I'm your host for the weekend, Sam Charwood. It's great to have your company, and what an event we have on our hands here in Charters Towers. This weekend is set to play a pivotal role in our 5-stop championship. There are 600 points on offer as Mel Brandle tries to chase down Bo Robinson in the championship fight. And it all begins with traditional scrutineering on Friday. Well, Mel, we're in the hunt. We're 4 rounds in now. How are you feeling about that?
We've been thinking about it a little bit, not too much. Obviously, we're chasing Bo. He's going to be a hard man to catch, so I sort of don't really expect to catch him. But, yeah, we've got to be in it to win it. Yeah, we're here. We've been out and had a look at the track. Track's nice and wide. There's a few gotchas out there, so we're going to have to be on our game like the whole weekend. Otherwise, yeah, we could come over a hill a bit quick and end up in one of those G-outs and anything could happen.
After reviewing the track, very, very difficult track, very technical. We'll really test all the cars, I think.
Well, we're with one of the locals this weekend, if you can call you that. You're 1,400 kilometres from home, Lawrence, but what's it like back in racing in Queensland again?
Yeah, it's great. I might be 1,400 kilometres from home, but I'm actually a member of this club. So I'm really at home, away from home.
James, you've proven the man to beat so far in 2024. We've got a home race for you this weekend, 5 hours from where you live. How are you feeling about everything?
Yeah, no, good. It's we came up here last year as our first race in the AORC, so it'd be good to get on the track again. They've changed it a fair bit, so we had a lot of new marking to do, but the club's done unreal this time. It's going to be a good race.
The new track that they've cut in is, it's going to be super dusty, rough, but that's what we want to see. But yeah, I expect there'll be a bit of attrition there. So
having a look at the track today, it was very wide open, plenty of room to have some fun. In the morning, I think if we got a dewy day like this morning, might settle the dust a little bit, but as the race goes on, it'll get a lot dustier and we'll be fighting for it. So hopefully we prologue up the front and get out of the dust.
Well, it is go time here from the Markwell Group Gold City 450 in Charters Towers, and it's time for the Transportable Shade Sheds Prologue. This is ordinarily a really important part of any off-road event, but it's particularly important here in Charters Towers because of the dust. You might see a little bit of it hanging around in the background. It's stagnant, it's pretty still here in Charters Towers, it's definitely warm, so competitors are going to want to get as far up the order as they can for the all-important start later today. It's about a 10-kilometre circuit here, the Prologue circuit itself, snakes its way through the bush as we see a competitor take off now.
Home club hero Lawrence Svensson had a steady start to qualifying inside the top 10. A quartet of side-by-sides would soon follow, led by Loveday side-by-side championship runner-up Lachlan Bailey, Glenn Ackroyd, Glenn Brinkman and Benjamin Nixon. With the Gold City 450 layout widened for 2024, it was a more even footing between the side-by-sides, buggies and the trophy trucks. Currently second in the AORC title race, Mel Brandle edged into the top 5 as the clear pro-light leader. Topping the pro buggies in 4th, Royden Bailey and Simon Herman. Side-by-side championship leader James Mogford looked to be the benchmark driver in Prologue, some 8 seconds faster than Bailey. AORC championship leader Bo Robinson would be one of the last to start the course. The extreme 2-wheel drive trophy truck ripped through the short course but could only manage the 3rd quickest time. In the end, Transportable Shade Shed's Prologue honours would go to local crews, Daniel Dunn and Shane Dale, stunning the field to be some 11 seconds faster than Mogford.
Yeah, I've only done half of that track before. I haven't raced the whole track, so it was new to me. So yeah, a bit of local knowledge, but a lot of other people here have raced that track, so even contention, I suppose.
I guess you would know better than anyone, the dust here can be a real issue all weekend. How much of an advantage is it taking out Prologue this morning in terms of the overall event and the dust?
For the first bit of the race, I think it'll be a major advantage, but once the big trucks get on the straights, we'll be moving over and letting them pass, and then we'll all have equal amount of dust, I think.
Daniel Dunn will enjoy a dust-free run aboard the side-by-side as he looks to start the 2024 Markwell Group Gold City 450 first off the start line on Saturday afternoon. 3 laps and 165 kilometres awaits the cruise at Charters Towers. With the order now set after Prologue, 3 laps under the baking Queensland sun will be the next challenge for the AORC Cruise. With a short 11-kilometre run in Prologue, crews were looking forward to the full 55-kilometre course. Improvement works in 2024 sees longer straights and wider corners to promote more overtaking. The opening lap was a rough start for a small handful of crews. Third in the side-by-side title race, Daniel Challen suffered a puncture. Exhausted from the tyre change, Challen withdrew from Saturday on safety grounds. John Weiss and Emily Brandle also only lasted 1 lap, with the side-by-side Sport Yamaha pulling back into the pits with an engine problem. The home ground advantage wasn't enough for Prologue winner Daniel Dunn, a power steering failure culminating in a gentle rollover. Their Saturday would be done. The expanded 55-kilometre course was suited perfectly to the extreme two-wheel drive of Bo Robinson, the trophy truck setting the pace in the lead after the opening lap. Keeping close to Robinson in the title race, Mel Brandle also stayed within striking distance to sit second after the opening lap. Ackroyd was the leading side-by-side driver after that opening lap, the newer specification Can-Am gaining the edge over James Mogford's Can-Am. It was a solid start for Robinson, but as the race wore on, so did the Charters Towers surface underneath. With more rocks exposed, tyre wear was a concern across the entire field. The brute strength of the Robinson trophy truck was particularly exposed. He was forced to pull into the pits early for a tyre change mid-race. That stop plummeting this convo to 11th overall by the end of the 3rd lap.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It's certainly an off-road race, but yeah, we had a drama there with a flat tyre, but we sort of not knew it was going to happen, but it's pretty brutal. Like I'm surprised it even lasted that long. There's an amazing amount of exposed rock. I can't believe how beat up it was compared to Recon. So, yeah, it's probably the first one we've had in probably 8 years or something. So, pretty good.
It was an even split between side-by-sides and AORC crews, with Benjamin Nixon one of the first side-by-sides inside the top 10. Nixon and navigator Thomas Margadich sitting 8th overall after the opening 3 laps. On his home club territory, Lawrence Svensson maintained his strong Prologue order to be 7th by the end of Saturday. Ahead, a quartet of side-by-sides couldn't be split apart over the 3 laps. Glenn Brinkman had a consistent start to Saturday, second in the side-by-side title race. Brinkman and Jacqueline Hughes were steady in 6th overall. Looking to continue their podium run last time out in Loveday, South Australians Lachlan Bailey and Nathan Strachek were 3rd in class and 5th overall. In the lead of the side-by-sides on the opening lap, Glenn Ackroyd and Michael Price would fall behind to sit 4th overall and 2nd in class. Queenslanders James and Michael Mogford making the most of a consistent run to lead the side-by-side championship runners and an impressive 3rd overall. Royden Bailey and Simon Herman also looked to make amends from a difficult ending to Loveday. Far and away, the pro buggy leaders in 2nd overall. The pro light of Mel and Liam Brandle have punched above their weight most of the year, but their season was starting to peak at just the right time. The South Aussies surviving the rough terrain with a 1-minute lead after 3 laps.
Very busy track. We've been very busy out there steering that car around the track. To come in first, I knew we were catching Royden. We got caught up in his dust there a fair bit. I think Bo must have had a flat tyre. Saw Can-Am on its roof, and I guess you do the numbers and check the times, and it's turned out pretty good.
You're a picture of consistency today. How challenging was the track?
Very challenging. Yeah. There's a straight out there which we miss the corner every single time, and wow, how we didn't end up in the trees, I'm not sure. But yeah, very tricky. More rocks coming up, a lot of dust. Later in the day, we started getting the sun in our eyes with the dust. So yeah, lots of challenges.
Well, Royden, a very successful day for you, second overall, but it looked very, very busy. What was it like from behind the wheel?
Today was actually really hard mentally. I found it hard to sort of concentrate. Just so much going on, and you had to be so on it in every corner that it was really easy just to start daydreaming and, get yourself in big trouble. But, it was pretty hard today.
Well, James Mogford, first in the side-by-side class and third overall. What was your assessment of the day?
The track actually got a little bit better. It got a lot less slipperier as it got on. All the softer stuff on top's getting pushed to the outside so we can get a bit of a better run. Some of them G-outs are, they're cruelling, so I'll be surprised if cars get around the whole thing. We were really lucky. We had a really good dust-free run, honestly. Yeah, Michael didn't like the coming into the afternoon in the shade and the trees and everything and the ups and downs. He got a bit crook, but we got it finished and got across the line.
So after 165 kilometres of competition, it's Mel and Liam Brandle who command a 1-minute lead over Royden Bailey and Simon Herman. A variety of side-by-sides are also in the mix of a potential overall result, with James and Michael Mogford leading the Transportable Shade Shed side-by-side championship runners ahead of Glenn Ackroyd and Lachlan Bailey.
Yeah, very busy indeed, yes. Busy trying to start my track, because that's the hard part at the moment in the dust, so yeah, very rocky out there, and it's fun, but good fun.
Pretty good to start with, and then we started having overheating issues the whole time, so we had to back off all of the straights, so we couldn't get up to speed, but pretty happy with overall where we're sitting.
Next, a marathon 5 laps awaits the crews on Sunday in a rough and hot run for the 2024 Markwell Group Gold City 450.
Welcome back to the Markwell Group Gold City 450. It is Sunday morning and it is almost go time. Competitors are assembling at the start-finish line, and what a day we have in store. 5 laps of this gruelling race course. It'll be spread across an initial 3-lap race, followed by a break, and then a 2-lap dash to the finish line. What's clear from Saturday is that this gruelling course is revealing a slightly more sinister side. It's hot, it's slippery, and it is inundated with rocks. And it certainly makes for a very busy time from behind the wheel. It's clear that our championship front runners will need to exercise good judgment and plenty of patience if they intend to emerge in a strong position.
Another 3 laps would ease crews into Sunday morning at Charters Towers. After his crash on Saturday, the Prologue winners Daniel Dunn and Shane Dale would return to the race. With the help of some local connections to track down a spare part, the side-by-side was back on the pace.
It was a bit touch and go there for a bit. We couldn't really work out how the accident happened, but I think the power steering module was the main cause of it. Pulled that apart, diagnosed it, that was the problem. Managed to find one in Townsville, thanks to Brent from Sun City.
Showing what might have been, Dunn set a blinder on the opening lap for Sunday, some 6 seconds faster than race leader Mel Brandle. Sunday morning wasn't the fresh start Bo Robinson and Shane Hutt were looking for. Tyre wear catching them out on Saturday, and now mechanical problems hampering their Sunday.
Well, Bo, an unforeseen pit stop for you. Can you tell us what's happened?
Yeah, we've got converter issues. Just about 10k out of here, just started losing drive. So we're hoping it's a hose gone bad or something, but it's pretty hopeful, I don't know.
The boys have jumped underneath it now. Have they got any kind of inkling as to whether they can fix it?
There's nothing obvious, unfortunately. There's no broken lines or no oil missing or anything weird. So, I don't know. Unfortunately, I reckon it might be internal, but we'll try.
A trio of side-by-sides would set the pace in Sunday morning's 3-lap dash, with the session topped by Glenn Ackroyd and Michael Price. Ackroyd would take a chunk of time out of the side-by-side lead of James Mogford in the process, with Ackroyd only 12 seconds from knocking Mogford out of 2nd overall. Lachlan Bailey climbed to 4th outright and 3rd out of the side-by-side championship runners, inheriting the place from Glenn Brinkman. Mechanical problems on Sunday morning seeing Brinkman lose a ton of time, falling to 7th. It was a tough morning on the other side of the Bailey pits, however, with the senior, Royden Bailey, retiring on the opening lap. Colliding with a tree and losing a wheel in the process, their Gold City 450 was over. Queenslander Lawrence Svensson found himself a surprise leader in Pro Buggy, climbing from 7th to 5th. Svensson holds a handy buffer of more than 3 minutes over Benjamin Nixon.
Tired and surprised. The car's going really well. The track's so much easier to drive than it was last year. You can get the car fluid flowing through the corners, get some good slides happening. You can predict the next corner, which you couldn't do last year. You couldn't actually see enough of the apex to set the car up for it. So the car seems to be really good. It's handling well, the brakes are good, which is essential here. Having the brakes spot on is essential. Just hopeful that we can do 2 more laps at the same sort of pace.
Surviving the brutal course in performance 2-wheel drive, Michael Shipton enjoyed sitting in 8th outright after 6 laps. Thomas and Toby Stevens were steady in 9th. And a mighty effort from the solo Pro Buggy pilot Paul Tuck-Lee sees the Mudgee Cranes driver 10th overall. Two more laps of the Markwell Group Gold City 450, and after this morning's mechanical woes, the afternoon didn't fare any better for Beau Robinson's crew. The extreme 2-wheel drive was out of the race for good. With just 14 runners remaining, the side-by-side of Lachlan Bailey and Nathan Stracek just fell short from finishing the event, bundled out on the very final lap. Showing what might have been, local crews Daniel Dunn and Shane Dale continued their sharp run on Sunday to finish 2nd in the 2-lap dash. The side-by-side crew classified 15th by the end of the weekend. It was also a cruel final section for Paul Tuck-Lee. Riding solo in the Pro Buggy, the Mudgee Cranes pilot dropped to 14th outright. Reliability was the key to Norman and Tyson Parker's run in production 4-wheel drive. Still developing their Ford Raptor, Jeff Pickering wasn't a factor in the battle for production honours. Parker's trusty Toyota would finish the weekend in 10th outright. With Beau Robinson's early spell, extreme 2-wheel drive honours would go the way of Klaus McGee and Jason Muchenberg, 9th overall. Splitting a group of side-by-sides was the performance 2-wheel drive of Michael Shipton and Paul Charlton in 7th. Shipton would split the side-by-sides of Benjamin Nixon and Thomas Stevens. Waiting in the wings for a potential podium, it was an impressive 4th for Lawrence and Janelle Svensson on home club territory. The pair victorious in Pro Buggy come the end of the weekend. But topping the final section with the fastest lap of the weekend, Mel and Liam Brandle dominated Sunday with an emphatic victory to claim the 2024 Markwell Group Gold City 450, their first win of their AORC careers, and appropriately on Father's Day.
In the Prologue, we don't really try and push for an outright win. Don't get me wrong, we're going out there, the helmet goes on, we do our best. To do it is, we're over the moon.
What do you put it down to, your success this weekend?
Consistency. That track out there was definitely what people call the driver's track. I reckon I spent more time sideways out there than I did going forward. So there's a lot of concentration, a lot of hard work goes into doing that. I really had to manage the tyres. I really had to stop spinning up the tyres and slides and things like that. We've got no tread left. We've actually got some rocks under the tread, so we might have been lucky to get in without a flat.
Having been a threat for much of the weekend, Glenn Ackroyd and Michael Price struck at the right time to also claim the race win for the Transportable Shade Sheds Side-by-Side Championship. The pair getting the edge over James and Michael Mogford, with the pairings also finishing as outright runners-up and 3rd on the podium.
Well, Glenn, winner of side-by-side, 2nd overall. Fantastic weekend for you. How are you feeling?
Oh, mate, it's awesome, mate. Finally got here, So it's been a long run to get here, but finally got here. It was great. There's no point pushing too hard, especially with dust. So last lap, we were first out, so we had no dust, which was great. So it's a clean run, just brought it home, so easy.
Well, James Mogford, 3rd outright, 2nd in class, but most importantly, you've brought it home this weekend. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. It was that last lap was tough. We blew a front diff about 10k into the 2nd lap. and we've blown our primary clutch as well, so we lost a lot of time in that last lap, but hey, we made it home, we crossed the line.
If you were to describe your car in that last lap in a word, how did it feel?
Oh, she was hurting. That's the best way to describe it, it was hurting.
Well, Glenn, third overall in side-by-side, fifth overall in the event. How do you feel about everything?
Yeah, it's a challenging event. I love these roads here. It's a bit rally related, so I enjoy that. But the pace at the front was pretty hot today, so pretty happy. We had broke a drive shaft we had to come in and cut out on the second section there, so pretty happy to finish in that result, that's for sure.
Brandl's win comes at a crucial point in the championship, with the South Australians now in the lead of the title race over Bo Robinson. 216 points is all the difference as the championship heads to the season finale at Kalgoorlie. With 900 points on offer there, the title race remains mathematically alive all the way through to 9th place Royden Bailey. In the Transportable Shade Shed side-by-side championship, just 192 points is all the difference between James Mogford and Glenn Brinkman. Charters Towers winner Glenn Ackroyd also remains a strong chance for the side-by-side title to sit third in that race. For the full list of race and championship results, visit aorc.com.au.
Well, that caps a very successful weekend for the Brandl family, and on Father's Day no less, at the 2024 Markwell Group Gold City 450. All eyes in this championship now move forward to late October and the Kalgoorlie Desert Race. It's one of our favourite stops on the calendar, and this year there's also additional points on offer. So it certainly sets up a really thrilling finish to this championship. Keep an eye out for all the latest AORC news on our socials. I'm Sam Child. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.